My next guest is a Christian Arab Israeli who voluntarily served in the IDF. He's founder and CEO of Together, Vouch for Each Other. Yoseph Haddad joins me now. Thank you so much for joining me. You've got a fascinating story, but I want to focus with you on the US media. And we see it also here in Australia. They echo and follow the US media. And we've seen recently just really distorted media coverage. Last week, for example, a horrific terror attack in Jerusalem was reported like this by CNN, who, have a look at this headline. It really isn't describing what's happened. 2 dead, including child, as car rams people at Jerusalem bus stop. And there were other headlines very similar, almost like the cars committing the crime as opposed to Palestinian terrorists. And we've also seen Yoseph, the New York Times, just repeatedly blame Israel and its supposedly far-right government for inflaming tensions, as opposed to those who are the aggressors in this battle.
Yes. You know, it's not surprising. We've seen that by the mainstream media time after time, when you see that the headlines either it's twisted or completely you get a different vibe or a news out of that headline. And the people in CNN and other medias don't understand that they're actually causing more harm and damage to the conflict more than they're helping. Because eventually we're talking about the life of people. And when we don't address the reality, we're going to get more and more terrorist attacks and not actually helping to solve the problem. And by the way, at that specific attack, we were talking about a child, 6-year-old, and a kid, 8-year-old, who were killed by a Palestinian terrorist, and it seems like it's just a randomly car accident. Or further than that, the Palestinian terrorist does not kill only Jews. Yazan Falah from the Druze community, Amir Khouri from the Christian community, and just 2 days ago, Asil Suaid from the Muslim community were killed by terrorist Palestinians. That's why terrorism does not discriminate between religion, between race. Christians, Muslims, Jews are actually a target of those terrorist attacks, and we should address it exactly like it is. And shame on CNN and Times that they do that. They're only causing more damage.
Is that why you opted to serve in the IDF, even though you didn't have to, because this terrorism, this violence does impact everybody? You yourself are a Christian Arab?
2003, I started my service. A month before I started my service, there was a huge terror attack in Haifa. It's the largest mixed city in Israel. And the attack was on a restaurant co-owned by Arabs and Jews. A Palestinian female suicide bomber bombed the restaurant, killed 21 Israelis, Arabs and Jews. My parents were in that restaurant 4 days before that attack. Just imagine if the suicide bomber would come at that day that we're there, or my parents would have gone to the restaurant 4 days later. I would have no parents. That time I understood that the fact that I am going to serve my country is the right thing to do. And by the way, it's called the IDF, not the JDF. It's not the Jewish Defense Forces, it's Israel Defense Forces. And Israel is Arabs and Jews. And when the IDF defends Israel, defends all its citizens. And when Hamas and Hezbollah and the Islamic Jihad, backed up by Iran, who is, playing all of them, they attack Jews and Arabs. As I said the names before, and obviously more and more of that attacks happened.
But you paid a heavy price. You were in a war and you almost lost your foot.
Yeah.
So
I actually temporarily lost my foot. My foot was cut off after I was hit by an anti-tank missile when Hezbollah spotted my unit. I want to tell you that because of the best doctors in Israel, Jews and Arabs, that's the best place, by the way, to see the partnership between Jews and Arabs. When you go to the hospitals in Israel and see an Arab doctor treating a Jewish patient and a Jewish doctor treating an Arab patient. So for me, as an IDF wounded soldier, the best doctors, Arabs and Jews, took care of me. And not only they managed to reattach my foot, and as you probably saw me walking, as a regular person, not even look like disabled, but they managed to reattach my own foot, and I don't have anything, not even one single medal, besides a couple of shrapnels that they couldn't take. And I play what you call it soccer here in Australia.
That's incredible that you could still play soccer.